Very nice. There's YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Well, I imagine we'll get the highlight reel from today's speaking here. Let me see if Steph got us with some of that. If not, I knew she would. I knew you would. You're the best. You're so awesome. All right. Yeah, we'll skip playing the whole thing since we got the highlights already. It's already over. Before we get to all that, though, let me see if I have anything I can go into myself here. Oh, yes, I found an African that can stay. This one can stay just because he's funny.
Yes! 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 Yes, it's working! Yes! Excuse me. Ladies. Do you know me? My name is Mr. Ile. I've been sent by your ancestors to cast a spell on you. Do you know the spell? I've been sent to cast a spell on you people. Ile.
Excuse me?
The spell.
Excuse me?
Yes! Yes!
Yes!
It's working! Yes!
It's working!
Yes! Yes! Yes, it's working! Yes! 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 It's working! It's working! Yes! Yes!
That one can stay. I'm good with that. I'll take it. Just as long as it keeps chasing them and hounding them and convincing them that it's going to cast spells on them. They believe it too. Scott Adams, yes, that is the worst news, man. Yeah, he's gone. He's passed away. I'll let this play. I'm sure you have all probably seen it by now, but maybe for those that are just getting off work for the evening, we lost a good one.
Unfortunately, this isn't good news. Of course, he waited till just before the show started, but he's not with us right anymore. I'm going to try to get through this. He has a final message that he wanted to say, so I'm going to try to read it, trying to be strong. If you are reading this, things did not go well for me. I have a few things to say before I go. My body failed before my brain. I am of sound mind as I write this January 1st, 2026. If you wonder about any of my choices for my estate or anything else, please know I'm free of any coercion or inappropriate influence of any sort. I promise. Next, many of my Christian friends have asked me to find Jesus before I go. I'm not a believer, but I have to admit the risk-reward calculation for doing so looks so attractive to me. So here I go. I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior and look forward to spending an eternity with him. The part about me not being a believer should be quite quickly resolved if I wake up in heaven. I won't need any more convincing than that. I hope I'm still qualified for entry.
I hope so too, Scott. I do. Okay. Did we cover that one last night? I don't recall. I guess probably not. Yeah, Pipe Bomber is allegedly a two-time Trump voter. Allegedly. At least that's what they're going to go with. That's what the attorney's saying. Oh, yeah, I did play this. I did play it. Is I think it was like early in the morning though. So let me play it again. For those of you that missed it.
Fox 5 exclusive. For the first time, we are hearing from the lawyers representing accused pipe bomber Brian Cole Jr.
It was a wide-ranging interview today with our Katie Barlow, who's here now with the latest on this one. Katie.
Cole's lawyer, Mario Williams, says Cole voted for Trump twice before he was arrested and charged with interstate transportation of explosive devices and a malicious attempt to use explosive devices. And he was arrested back in December. He's now pleaded not guilty to both charges. Williams also says he believes the president's pardon for all January 6th defendants applies to Cole. The lawyers are planning to make a filing with the court soon, laying out that argument that the pardon applies.
Judge called this a January 6th adjacent case during the hearing. Do you agree with that?
For purposes of the pardon, I absolutely agree with it.
What do you mean?
This guy. So I have to state for the record, when I went, oh darn it, come on, you. When I went to the hearing last week, this guy, out of all the attorneys on the floor that day, there were many. This guy was a fucking idiot. He was an absolute moron. The rest of them quite competent. This one was a joke. It boggles the mind why they're using him for like their TV guy. I mean, probably because he's black. Let's be real.
I think you have to employ some kind of common sense as applied to the allegations. So if the allegations are that he went out there and he set down these components and that they were found on January 6th, the judge says that it's a part of January 6th. The pardon says that you're allowed to get a pardon for everything related to the events that occurred on or at the Capitol on January 6th. Like I said, we're going to talk about that at a later date, but I do believe that.
Sounds like you believe it's a strong argument he should get pardoned.
100%.
Yeah, that's the other part.
Trump's pardon is broad. It says the president.
That's the other part. They're trying to argue that the pardons apply to him too.
And a full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. The government says Cole confessed to making the homemade devices and walked investigators through how he built them before driving to Washington, D.C. and placing them outside the RNC and DNC headquarters the night before Congress certified Joe Biden's victory. When the government put details of what they call Cole's confession in a public filing, Cole's lawyers demanded to see the evidence of the confession. Williams says he's now watched a recording of Cole's interview after the arrest. He says the statements that are in the government's filing are missing context, and at some points, the government is making
what could that possibly mean? What?
Affirmative false statements, he says.
But you're not saying the government's lying.
Well, I'm saying that I believe the manner in which the government made those statements is incorrect and acontextual, and in some instances, absolutely false.
So a lie. The government's lying.
What part of it, though? That's pretty crucial.
Some of the representations that the government made, in our opinion, are false.
You can see more.
Blanks there. Oh man. Yeah, well, it's really kind of too early to tell what the fuck is even going on here. There's another hearing coming up on the it's either the 28th or the 29th. I'm pretty sure it's the 28th, but I will definitely be going to that and reporting back again. So okay. Oh, this is from actually like a couple of days ago, but it's pretty notable. Macomb County in Michigan, Macomb County Clerk Anthony Forlini just put out a press release that hundreds of jurors could not serve on a jury because they were illegal aliens. Could not or shouldn't have. I don't know. I think shouldn't have. They did. I'm pretty sure they did serve, but should not have served. I think that's what he meant. Jury service summons are based on random draws from the driver's license bank. 239 non-citizens were found in the jury pool over a 4-month period. That's right. Depending where you're at, you could be judged on your jury by an illegal alien. Yep. It appears 14 of these prospective jurors were also registered to vote at some point in time. One in particular also even appears to actually have voted on several occasions. And that's just this dinky ass little podunk county, Macomb. I don't know. I don't actually know how big Macomb County is. I have no idea. But it's Michigan. It can't be that big unless it's like Detroit. It's pretty wild. This is freaking crazy. If you've not seen this one yet, well, actually, I take that back. I guess in our current circumstances, it's really not all that crazy and probably even entirely expected.
If you have an American flag in front of your house, swipe away. Do not watch this video. Okay, there's about 10% Americans want the revolution. It's too early, but it's not too early to prepare for the revolution. Let me share with you a business plan to prepare for the revolution. Right now, it's 2026. If some households still have an American flag in front of their house, that means those people are supporting the American system. They are your enemy and they will be your enemy when the revolution starts. Before you eat the rich, you need more resources and weapons. Where to get all these resources and weapons? Get it from those households who got American flag from their house.
I know it's hard to take him seriously with the accent, but
so you guys also need to have a community set up a website.
But this is not setting in. This is someone, a Chinese guy speaking from China to leftists here in America, basically telling them the Chinese playbook, his advice on how to go about revolution.
Your members to take picture of every household who got American flag and upload those information to your website at the address of each household. When the time comes, you guys can use this information as evidence to eat them first. Eat them, God will support you. Buddha will support you. Eat them with no regret, okay? So this is my business plan for you. When the time comes, some household, they will pay you a lot of money.
Business plan for communism.
Just to take off those information off
the
website.
Business plan. Okay. On to the main pile here. And let me bust out closing a few more windows here. So my video stops chopping, hanging up and stuff. Can we do away with all this? Yeah, I guess so. Cool. And I need my fine YouTube people out here. Where you at? There you are. And I need my much better. All right, cool. Let's keep moving. President Trump says, that's right. If you're not, great people of Minnesota, the day of reckoning and retribution is coming. Mm-hmm. This guy's so fucked, dude. He knows how fucked he is by now. I think you'll probably see that in very short order here. Let's read out the full post here. I want to see what else he said. Do the people of Minnesota really want to live in a community in which there are thousands of already convicted murderers, drug dealers, and addicts, rapists, violent released and escaped prisoners, dangerous people from foreign mental institutions and insane asylums, and other deadly criminals too. Too dangerous to even mention. All the patriots of ICE want to do is remove them from your neighborhood and send them back to the prisons and mental institutions from where they came, most in foreign countries who illegally entered the USA through Sleepy Joe Biden's horrible open borders policy. Every place we go, crime comes down. In Chicago, despite a weak and incompetent governor and mayor fighting us all the way, yep, big improvement was made. Thousands of criminals were removed. Minnesota Democrats love the unrest that anarchists and professional agitators are causing because it gets the spotlight off of the $19 billion that was stolen by really bad and deranged people. Fear not, great people of Minnesota, the day of reckoning and retribution is coming. Ooh. Oh. Trump tweeting about Scott Adams. Sadly, the great influencer Scott Adams has passed away. He was a fantastic guy who liked and respected me when it wasn't fashionable to do so. He bravely fought a long battle against a terrible disease. My condolences go out to his family and many of his friends and listeners. He will be truly missed. God bless you, Scott. Bill Clinton, who, by the way, didn't show up for his testimony, his scheduled testimony today. I wonder if they're going to do anything about that. Because, and my memory may be failing me here, it could be. I'm pretty sure I remember. I guess it would have had to have been Comer saying that if the Clintons didn't show up this time, that, yeah, he was going to do something. I think we still got another day or two until Hill Dog is scheduled. Or is it the other way around? Is it her first and then him? I forget. One of the two was today. The other one is in a day or two. And whoever was today didn't show. So what's Slick Willie saying here? This is from today. Addressed to Chairman Comer. Okay. So it must have been Bill. Must have been Slick Willie here. We want to take a moment, given everything, to address you directly. This past year has seen our government engage in unprecedented acts, including against our own citizens. Oh, yeah? People have been seized by masked federal agents from their homes, their workplaces, and the streets of their communities. Oh, you must be talking about January 6ers, right? Right? Students and scientists with visas permitting... Oh. Those ones, the Sings of the world. Okay. All the people here on visas, on work visas and student visas, permitting them to study and work here, who've been deported without due process. Oh. The people who laid siege to the U.S. Capitol have been pardoned and called heroes. Oh, so that's all he's got to say about them, huh? All right. You know, actual citizens, most of whom didn't do anything of the sort, actually, in fact. Laid siege my ass. Agencies vital to the country's national security have been dismantled. Universities, media companies, and law firms have been subjected to threats to their funding, access, and licensing unless they made concessions and surrendered their right to constitutionally protected free speech. It's not how I'd put it. American troops have been deployed on the streets of our towns and cities. Why would that be again? Why? You're just going to pretend there's no impetus for it? It just happened? Oh, oopsie. The Justice Department has been used as a weapon at the direction of the president to pursue political opponents. Oh, that's fucking rich. Wow. Like, did they write this intending to be just glaringly hypocritical? Most recently and searingly, an ICE agent killed an unarmed mother only days ago. We'll forget the fact that she was armed with a 5,000-pound hunk of metal with what, 300 something horsepower? Who knows? Enough to do some fucking damage. Yep. Every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country, its principles, and its people, no matter the consequences. For us, now is that time. Oh, okay. We are lucky by virtue of the positions we held and the protections afforded by them, but we are not blind. Every day we see the country we have dedicated our lives to improving take step after step after step backwards. Yet again, whose fault would that be? As chairman of this powerful congressional committee, you have immense power to target anyone and subject them to closed-door interrogation and more. Yeah, that would be what he's there for. Yes. The decisions you have made and the priorities you have set as chairman regarding the Epstein. Oh, wow. You really going to go there, Bill? The Epstein investigation have prevented progress in discovering the facts about the government's role. The facts speak for themselves. You subpoenaed 8 people in addition to us. You dismissed 7 of those 8 without any of them saying a single word to you. You made no attempt to force them to appear. In fact, since you started your investigation last year, you have interviewed a total of 2 people. 2. Illegal analysis prepared by 2 law firms and provided to you yesterday makes clear your subpoenas are legally invalid. You claim your subpoenas are inviolate when they are used against us, yet were silent when the sitting president took the same position as a former president barely more than 3 years ago. We call on you to release that analysis to the public, to allow them to see how this is yet another example of the casual disregard of the law of the land. Another example of the casual disregard. Skipped up. All the while, you have done nothing with your oversight capacity to force the Department of Justice to follow the law and release all its Epstein files, including any material regarding us, as we have publicly called for. Oh, really? Over the last year in the House, extending health care for Americans in any state succeeded only because enough Republicans joined with Democrats. The fact that the public and we are seeing any of the Department of Justice's Epstein files is only because 4 Republicans out of 220 joined every Democrat to reach the minimum number of members to force a vote. You were not one of those 4. Even now, despite the Department of Justice's failure to follow the law that Congress passed, you have chosen not to consider subpoenaing the sitting Attorney General to follow the law. Despite everything that needs to be done to help our country, you are on the cusp of bringing Congress to a halt to pursue a rarely used process literally designed to result in our imprisonment. Who is it that declined to come to the fucking scheduled interview again? Who? Would that be you, Bill? Could have avoided all of that by just showing up to the interview. Indeed. Closed door, by the way. Closed door. It's not like you had to worry about the American people seeing your shame. Not that we don't already know it or anything, shithead. Indeed, bringing Republicans' cruel agenda to a standstill while you work harder to pass a contempt charge against us than you have done on your investigation this past year would be our contribution to fighting the madness. We have tried to give you the little information we have. Little. We have done so because Mr. Epstein's crimes were horrific. If the government didn't do all it could to investigate and prosecute these crimes, for whatever reason, that should be the focus of your work, to learn why and to prevent that from happening ever again. There is no evidence that you're doing so. Instead, you have forced the victim to relive their painful experiences. Oh, so now you're just literally going to call him a rapist, basically? Yeah, he's re-victimizing her all over again. Oh, what a meanie. Fuck. This is disgusting. I'm not even going to continue reading the rest of it because it just, you get the idea, I think, at this point. they're just denying, declining to show up completely, shoving the blame back on him, pretending there's nothing there. An insurrectionist woman just plucked from her vehicle after she tried to obstruct ICE operations. Uh-huh. Good golly. All right. Scott Adams, we saw. Okay, rapper Robin Kelly. Oh, trying to impeach Kristi Noem. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to announce I will be impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
Oh, okay. Sure you will.
Secretary Noem has violated the Constitution, and she needs to be held accountable for terrorizing our communities. Operation Midway Blitz has torn apart the Chicagoland area. President Trump declared war on Chicago, and then he brought violence and destruction to our city and our suburbs in the form of immigration enforcement. In my district, federal agents rappelled down from Black Hawk helicopters and burst into an apartment building in the South Shore area. They dragged U.S. citizens and non-citizens alike out of their beds in the middle of the night. They claimed the apartment was infiltrated by members of a Venezuelan gang. I don't understand this president's obsession with Venezuela, but they did not arrest a single member from that gang. I visited that apartment building and saw firsthand the destruction those agents left. Doors to people's homes or apartments were kicked down. Belongings, including little kids' toys, were strewn about in the hallway. That raid and so many others shook our community, not just immigrants, but everyone. Now Secretary Noem has brought her reign of terror to Minneapolis after she left Charlotte and Raleigh. We have all seen what happened. An ICE officer shot and killed Renee Nicole Good in cold blood. Without knowing any of the facts or an investigation, Secretary Noem lied about what happened. She called a beloved 37-year-old mom a domestic terrorist. Secretary Noem and her rogue agents are the ones terrorizing our communities, and she is breaking the law to do so. I will hold her accountable, and I'm filing 3 articles of impeachment against Secretary Noem. Number one.
All right, we're stopping there. All of them will fail. There's no point even listening. President Trump and Secretary Noem have officially ended temporary protective status for Somalis in the United States. Bon voyage, fuckers. Thousands must leave by March 17th, or they'll be deported.
Get out! You're not supposed to be here. Get out! 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 Out!
So I heard something on the order of like 100,000 visas were yanked today. Is that right? I don't think it's all these. I think it's across the country, but it's either way significant. Very good. House Republicans just filed a new reconciliation bill banning illegals from obtaining a single dime of taxpayer welfare. Only 51 votes required in the Senate. Get this done. Can they? Let's hope so.
Now, Republicans and
God, turn that down, please. Good God, sir. Turn your gain down.
Congress can and must go it alone with the second reconciliation bill. And this RSC's framework is all about making life affordable again for the American people and putting the American worker first. It prevents illegal immigrants from obtaining all government handouts, cracks down on rampant fraud like the abuse and mess that we've seen in Democrat states like in Minnesota, and reforms funding so only citizens count when we're doling out federal funds to the states. Now, this is our moment to flip the script, restore balance for the American people, and put power back in your hands, not bureaucrats, foreign nationals, or illegal immigrants. This bill achieves more conservative wins for House Republicans. It codifies President Trump's executive orders and slashes even more wasteful spending. My colleagues and I didn't run for office to continue the status quo. We understand that business as usual will put our country out of business.
God. Whoever set up that mic, shame on you. Shame. Bad. No. All right, thank you, Billy. I see you out there. Let me pull that up. This is Comer responding to Bill Clinton. He says, "You're right, President Clinton. This is about right and wrong. Epstein survivors deserve justice and answers. Refusing to comply with a bipartisan, duly authorized congressional subpoena in our Epstein investigation is unacceptable. No one is above the law." And then some nice, just comfy looking, warm photos of Bill Clinton just hanging out with the buds and some bimbos, possibly some teenage girls. You know, normal stuff. They just did the meme. That's great. I'm the captain now. That's right, Somalis. Oh, that is specifically in response to this regarding the removal of temporary protected status for Somalia. I am the captain now. BlackRock to slash hundreds of jobs. Oh, bye-bye. Latest Wall Street biz to kick off 2026 with firings. Wonder how directly that could be tied to some of what Trump is doing. The changes to the housing market. They're probably not too happy about that. DEI Justice Ketanji Brand Jackson is defending man in women's sports with a predictable, complete and total word salad.
Classification. And so to the extent that you have an individual who says what is happening in this law is that it is treating someone who is transgender but who does not have, because of the medical interventions and the things that have been done, who does not have
mutilation,
the same threat to physical competition and safety and all of the reasons that the state puts forward.
But they do.
That's actually a different class, says this individual. So you're not treating the class the same, and you're not, how do you respond to that? In other words, the as-applied challenge essentially redefines the class, or one could think of it as that. And so what's wrong with that, number one, and how do you square that with our holdings in Caban, which Lair later described in this way? In other words, Lair suggested that Caban was establishing that as-applied challenges of this nature do exist.
Certainly, take the second question first.
Yes.
Caban says nothing about as-applied. I know that Lair says later this was an as-applied case, but simply reading Caban, it does not say that. It simply applies intermediate.
No, I understand, but those two cases were in juxtaposition with one another,
Yes.
and Lair comes out the way it does, distinguishing Caban on the basis that it's an as-applied challenge, and we in Lair have a facial challenge, and it's basically the same facts. So if you're right, those two cases can't come out the way they do.
I don't think so, Your Honor. Again, Lair was actually briefed as a standing argument of maybe you might be able to argue that this law is overbroad, but you individually are not in the overbroad part, and therefore you don't get to challenge it. The court didn't use standing language, like express standing language in the opinion, but that is the logic of the opinion.
Mr. Hurst,
yes.
There's another way to think about the case your friends on the other side posit, and that is that
that's it. I've so had it with her, man. ICE agents roast anti-protester. Okay.
I don't care what they told you. If you guys get in my way, I will arrest you.
Sir, we're just observing. Please calm down.
You can observe all you want.
I am observing. Do you
Stay
see
back.
me in the way? I am Beth.
You had anger issues as a kid, didn't you? Were your parents present? You should be ashamed of yourself, man.
He is.
I love my job. Thank you.
You love your job?
I can't believe I get paid for this.
Really?
I do this for free.
Really, I get $200K. I'm a physician assistant.
How long did you go to school for that?
Over 7 years.
I went to high
How much did you pay for your degree, which you didn't actually go to school for?
school. I make
Almost guarantee it.
People regard me as someone valuable in society. What about you? Is yours?
Guys, like the degree scams are so rampant in this country, and it's all tied into these scum so-called communities. Every damn time they crank out tens of thousands of diplomas for all of those nurses you see filling up our medical industry.
I don't care what they told you. If you guys get it.
There have been big busts to this effect too, by the way, for those who care to look. Recent ones too, like within the last year. Someone's clearly looking. Trump to the Iranians, help is on its way. MAGA, make Iran great again, I assume. Iranian patriots, keep protesting. Take over your institutions. Save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I've canceled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way. My God. Now we get to PSYOP anime. I don't know if Ray had explained it the other night, but oh my goodness gracious. This is insane. This is how AI ought to be used. This is just insane. It's amazing. And I'll say that with the caveat that I do not know what this person used to train this, and if they used like if they're just using it to rip off existing art just straight up, which they maybe that's fucked up. But there's no denying how just insane this is. And in such a short time span too, like a time span. You know, it's been a few days, I guess, not even a week. and they've got this studio quality animation talking about Venezuela and Iran.
これまでの第三次世界大戦、アメリカ合衆国はマドゥロを拘束するためのニュースは世界中を駆け巡り、あらゆる放送を席巻していた。だが彼らの知らぬところで、イランでは長き眠りについていた獅子が目覚め始めていた。
So cool! Yes.
通信を遮断しろ。こんな姿を世界に見せるわけにはいかん。しましいモサドめ、奴らが裏で糸を引いている。フィレラ私がマドゥロのようにただ横たわると思っているのか。全員撃て。
Wild stuff. Let me skip forward to the Maduro bits.
はキーウ周辺のエネルギー基盤と今ははっきり分かったはずだ。この半球は我々のものだ。詰められたものだな。イランは膝をついた。アイアンストライク作戦前進させろ。
Crazy, man. I want to know how to do this shit. There's so many use cases I could come up with for that. Golly, it's so neat. Love it. What's this one?
なぜ負けたのか、ダレン。物語の支配。君が抱くあらゆる思考、あらゆる認識は煩悩と決断の間のほんのの一瞬に丹念に植え付けられた。あなたの物語は作り物だ。同社が構築しました。この戦争において強さは一つの思考を根付。
I gotta say, this is so obviously a ripoff of Death Note. Right there. Again, no denying how crazy this is. It's nuts. Just a team of like two. I know I think it's more than one person, but tops maybe like three or four, if that. They're able to pump stuff like this out. Give it a year, they'll be able to crank out full-length feature movies. Top quality. Won't be long. It's pretty wild. By the way, I would totally consume my news like this. Just give me this to like get me caught up on the day's news. Would totally watch it. Greenland demands NATO's protection following President Donald Trump's comments that he plans on acquiring the territory one way or another. Ooh. Okay, the United States has once again reiterated its desire to take over Greenland. This is something the government coalition in Greenland cannot accept under any circumstances. Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. As a part of the realm, Greenland is a member of NATO, and the defense of Greenland must therefore be ensured through NATO. Trump recently stated that Greenland would be acquired the easy way or the hard way. Of course, no one at this point has any idea what the easy way or the hard way is. Just yet. But I guess we're probably going to find out. Yeah, no surprise there. Dear Man says Hill Dog claiming she'll be no show tomorrow. Comer says he will launch a warrant. There we go. here we are. That's what he said he would do, if I remember right. So good to hear he's going to follow through. All right, where were we? Boop, boop, boop. Greenland.
We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland. I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way.
What do you think about the United States buying Greenland?
No more Danish.
Why do you guys not like the Danish?
Liar.
Good or bad idea for Greenland to become a part of the United States?
USA and Greenland? I think it's okay. It's good.
So if the United States were to buy Greenland and you were able to get $20,000, would you do it?
I will not say yes for money. For Greenland or money, I will just Greenland. We live in Greenland, he cannot buy this.
For $100,000, would you guys sell Greenland? And each citizen of Greenland got $100,000, would you sell your country?
Yes.
But you said Greenland is not for sale, but you'd sell it for $100,000.
What does that even mean exactly? Like, there are so many question marks there. Like, what would that? I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Money is money. will understand.
Do you think it would be better for you guys to become part of the United States versus being part of Denmark?
Of course, there's some benefits to America. We would have way bigger military, and we would be safe from invasions in case of a war or something. If the Third World War comes, I don't know how much it would matter with all the nuclear weapons.
What a voice on that one.
There would probably be some Russians coming from Greenland to go to America and stuff as a vantage point.
Interesting. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson has resigned after uncovering billions in fraud in Minnesota. Sources indicate he is weighing either a national role at the Department of Justice or a statewide run in Minnesota. Ah, okay. Like, yeah, I don't know why you would step down in the dead center of the biggest scandal of your lifetime that you're like poised to do something about. Unless, of course, he's going somewhere where he can do more about it. I don't know. American Lives in a Small Town in Minnesota. Let's hear from her.
You know, I love the fucking suburb.
Oh, come on now.
I'm in. So ICE was just in my suburb at our local grocery store while I was there, and they were grabbing somebody. Nobody in the grocery store stopped them from doing their job. Everybody was clapping and excited about ICE being there. People were hooting and hollering, chanting for ICE. You gotta love small towns in Minnesota, honestly. We are so fucking stoked. And honestly, you know what I did after the ICE agents got done with their job and what they were doing? I said, can I buy you all, like something to drink, something to eat? And I did. And I sure fucking did, because you know what? I'm excited that ICE is in Minnesota. Really excited. I'm not gonna tell you the suburb I'm in, but it's close to Stillwater. We'll just leave it at that. Best thing I've seen today is watching an ICE agent arrest somebody and send them back to where they came from. Love it. Super happy about it. Love the suburb I live in, because there was no protesting. Nobody stopped them. Nobody did, because no one gives a shit. We want them gone. You know, I love the fucking suburb.
Okay. Supreme Court Justice Sam Alito just eviscerated the attorney's argument for transgender male trying to compete in girls' sports. More from this case. Let's hear it.
That has a boys, let's say, track team and a girls' track team. The school has that. And a student who has the genes and the reproductive system of a male and had those at birth and has never taken puberty blockers, never taken female hormones, never had any gender altering or affirming surgery says, nevertheless, I am a woman. That's who I am. Can the school say, no, you cannot participate on the girls' team?
Sorry, so you're just a birth sex male who has all the advantages of birth sex male hormones, and can the school bar him from the women's team? Yes, they can.
But that person, is that person not a woman in your understanding? If the person says, I sincerely believe I am a woman, I am in fact a woman. Is that person not a woman?
I would respect their self-identity in addressing the person, but in terms of the statute, I think the question is, does that person have a sex-based biological advantage that's going to make it unfair for that person to be part of the women's team? And that's the rationale for the regulation, and so that's the way we would be testing that hypothetical.
Well, the reason I'm asking has to do with discrimination on the basis of transgender status. So what you seem to be saying is, yes, it is permissible for the school to discriminate on the basis of transgender status, because if this person is a trans woman, a trans girl, and is barred from the team, from the girls' team, then that person is being subjected to differential treatment based on transgender status, right?
Well, that would be, then the question would be whether it was, the scrutiny would be satisfied. So from our perspective, that would be a transgender classification.
Oh, kind of got you there. Not bad, Alito. Yeah, I saw this. Data Republican will be live in person and live streaming, teaching Americans how to investigate their governments. 2 nights, February 16th through 17th. Gonna highly recommend people watch this. A lot of manpower exists in you guys, especially amplified by modern internet search, AI tools. A lot you can do if you know how to do it. This is probably going to be one worth watching. I'll be watching every second of this. Recommend everyone else do the same. Today, Marco Rubio says we're designating Lebanese, Egyptian, and Jordanian chapters of the Muslim Brotherhood as terrorist groups. Jack Smith set to testify publicly next week before House Judiciary. Closed door, I assume. Trump's Arctic Commissioner Thomas Dans says Trump's desire to annex Greenland will not be thwarted, and action could come within weeks or months. Ooh. Wow. NBC pulls a Law and Order SVU episode featuring Timothy Busfield after he gets hit with child sex abuse charges. Was it recent or like an old one? Yeah, I guess it's a newer one. All right. Interesting. He was set to play a judge in the pulled episode. He's going to get to play someone different this time. The White House has added a new sign for the Rose Garden above the Rose Garden. It just reads the Rose Garden. Very simple. But it is gold. Gold. Tom Massey getting hit in the hallway. Getting a little sassy too towards the end. This is funny.
How's it going? Happy birthday. Thank you. Wait, so Congressman.
Oh, come on. It's Charles Downs. Come on.
In the last 2 weeks.
No, come on.
You repeated AOC's talking points on Venezuela, and Jasmine Crockett has retweeted you. When will you change your party affiliation to Democrat?
I thought you knew. I vote with Republicans 91% of the time.
And
the 9% I don't, they're taken up for pedophiles, starting another war, or bankrupting our country.
I don't know
Whoa,
about
those fangs coming out. Look at, I mean, literally. Oh! Careful, Charles.
I don't know about that, Congressman. We'll see.
impeachment money for
U.S. official says Greenland action could come within weeks or months. Here's Andy Biggs on Bill Clinton today. Here we go.
Hi, Andy Biggs here. Just walked out of the Oversight Committee deposition scheduled for former President Clinton. He chose not to come today. We issued a bipartisan subpoena. Every Democrat and every Republican on that committee voted to have him come in and testify for us in a deposition just to answer questions because of the frequency that Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House when Clinton was the president, and also his flights. But they chose not to come after the months and months of trying to accommodate them and a bipartisan subpoena. So we hope that they'll respond to the contempt citation, which will be voted on next week. Hi, Andy Biggs here. Just walked out of the Oversight Committee.
Some pro-ICE, anti-Walt signery up in north of Twin Cities area, Minnesota. More ICE would be nice, F.U. Waltz. This is at where again? The Central Wood Products and Landscape Supply Store. Former Eric Adams aide and community advocate Tony Herbert has been arrested and charged in an SDNY indictment with taking bribes and kickbacks, along with several fraud offenses, set to appear in court later today. This can't have anything to do with that rug pull crypto coin he launched last night, could it? There's no way. That would be way too fast. Yeah, this looks like it's for other stuff. But yeah, that also happened last night. He launched a crypto coin thing and rug pulled the shit out of it within like 30 minutes and walked away with like a few $1 million, which he had just stolen from all the people that bought it. Nice move, Eric. Christy Nunn says temporary means temporary. Country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the law's requirement for temporary protected status. Allowing Somali nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is contrary to our national interests. You bet it is. We're putting Americans first. Bye-bye. Bon voyage. This is fake. This is AI, just FYI.
Hey, what do you do?
Hey.
You can't take my cars like that, man.
Sir, step back from the vehicle.
This is my business car. You see the sign? Quality Land Sign umbrella.
You can even see the Sora sign pop up right there. Bing.
Quality Land Sign umbrella. I pay taxes. You got no paper.
We have the court order, sir. You'll get a
Court
copy.
order. Now, man, Governor Walz gonna send that check. You hear me? He
Sir,
sent the
step
check.
over.
They all follow a pattern too. General kind of set of shared characteristics. The way the voice sounds, the timing of the speech. Visually, though, as long as they degrade it like this, it's actually very hard to tell.
Hey, what do you do?
Hey.
You can't take my cars like that, man.
Sir, step back from the vehicle.
This is my business car. You
Like
see
if it were just a couple second, 2-3 second clip, and you were just scrolling by, it'd be very hard to tell. It's only going to get worse. Right in time for 2026. And even worse for 2028. Oh, how fun. But hey, at least we get fun memes like, where'd it go? Putting Alex Jones in They Live. Huh? Which is definitely pretty fun. It's pretty cool. But is the juice worth the squeeze, my friends? I don't know. I don't know that it is. I don't think so. It's already bad enough as it was when it came to trying to sort out the freaking truth of things. U.S. Secret Service agent assigned to VP J.D. Vance leaks sensitive security information to undercover reporter. Scotto is a holdover from the Biden admin and stated that he voted for Joe Biden while expressing opposition to ICE and the Trump administration's immigration policies. I hate that ICE shit, he said. It's a current U.S. Secret Service agent on J.D. Vance's protective detail. That's wow. Wow.
Can I see your badge again with your photo? You're so cute.
What an idiot. What a moron.
A current Secret Service agent on Vice President J.D. Vance's security detail.
When he's like walking, like, where are you?
We'll have at least a minimum
gives away vital high-level security information to our undercover journalists.
We have different shifts. We have
tells her about detailed future travel plans for the vice president, and even sends her pictures with location metadata revealing where the president's convoy was located, potentially violating both the Secret Service NDA and United States federal law.
Wow.
Tomas is fully aware of this. Quote, I sign paperwork, so if I don't have to get out information, I never do, otherwise I get in trouble. You really have to stand in awe of the lack of self-awareness.
Yeah.
They know secret about what we do.
Tomas Escato also reveals that he voted for Biden and that he hates Trump and Vance's immigration policy.
Dude, this guy's so screwed. He could pay a serious price for this.
Did you vote for Biden?
Yes, I did.
Very serious price.
What do you think about like all the ICE stuff going on?
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
We got plenty more to get to, so I'm gonna keep moving. I think we get the gist here. But wow. If he hadn't fired already, it's only a matter of probably mere hours. And that's just the first wave. Next comes the legal troubles. He is not having a fun time ahead of him. Enjoy, Mr. Whatever your name is. Escato. All right, now we get to the highlight reel from Trump speaking today. Let's see. Speaking at the Detroit Economic Club after touring the River Rouge complex at Ford Motor Company.
It's a true honor to be back at the Detroit Economic Club with the businessmen and women who are really the economic engine of America. That's what you are. You've become more of that since I've been in, a lot more. Factories and plants were going to close, and now they're going 24 hours. I just left Bill Ford. He's running his plant, 150 plant, 24 hours a day, round the clock. It wasn't running that way two years ago, I can tell you. But it's the complex that Ford Motor Company so cherishes. It was a pleasure to see that the crown jewel of Detroit auto industry, is what they call it, is still going after 100 years. Can you imagine over 100 years? But it's a true honor to be back at the Detroit.
After less than 12 months in office, he continues here. I'm back in Michigan to report the strongest, fastest economic turnaround in our country's history.
Now, after less than 12 months in office, I'm back in Michigan to report to you on the strongest and fastest economic turnaround in our country's history. It's really been historic. There's never been, we're not 12 months, we're through 11 months. We've got $18 trillion being invested in our country. The most of any country ever was 3. We're at 18. There's never been anything like this. You are so lucky I allow you into this room to even be with me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The fake news will say Donald Trump thinks he's hot stuff. Right now I'm feeling pretty good, though, I will say. Oh, you're so lucky to be here. Under our administration, growth is exploding, productivity is soaring, investment is booming, incomes are rising, inflation is defeated, America is respected again like never before.
Tat's success on ending the stagflation catastrophe.
Joe Biden gave us a colossal stagflation catastrophe, but my administration's rapidly and very decisively ended that. We have quickly achieved the exact opposite of stagflation, almost no inflation and super high growth. So we have the highest growth we've ever had. Think of that. The highest growth we've ever had, and we've only been there 11 months. Think of what we can do for the rest of it. But do we have wood around here? I want to knock on a little wood. They have one little, everything's plastic nowadays. It's very tough. Now we have the greatest growth, and we have, inflation way, way down. But we inherited terrible growth, and we inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. The fake news would say 49 years. So when I say the history, they give me a lot of time, but I believe it's the history. But let's say 49 years. Would you say 49 years is okay, right? It's pretty bad. What do you think, Mr. Senator, Mr. Future Senator? I'd say 49. What sounds worse, 49 years or history? I think 49 years almost sounds worse. Maybe I'll just use it and I won't argue with these people. As of this morning, core inflation for the past 3 months has been just 1.6%. The numbers were just announced just before I came on stage. And GDP is smashing expectations with the fastest growth for this country in many years. The fourth quarter is projected at 5.4%, and that's despite the Democrat shutdown where we lost at least 1.5 points.
Very much looking forward to seeing the dividends from all this year. We should. Results are in. Trump economic boom has officially begun, he says. I have to say, my year's off to a good start. I mean, it's not like I'm not like raking in money freaking hand over fist or anything. But I'm not like not making money. I'm getting jobs here and there. Sold a lens a few weeks back after a like year-long dry spell. Shooting a wedding in 3 months, 4 months. Yeah. I don't know what the next year is going to bring with the way the AI insanity is going, but I'm going to be doing my best to learn that's all that stuff this year too. I want to make sure I'm well positioned as best I can be. Okay. Stock market now highest in history, including 52 all-time records since the election. Not bad. Actually, I don't know if did we play this one? I don't think we did.
But we're already growing double, triple, and even quadruple the speed of almost every other major economy on earth. We're the #1 economy on earth, too. And the results are in, and the Trump economic boom is officially begun. It's really begun almost from the beginning. Almost begun, if you look at it, really from November 5th. On another metric, just before the election, it was almost impossible to get people to join the military. We had the worst enlistment in the history of our country, the worst. You couldn't get people for the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, Space Force, the Coast Guard. You couldn't get people. And since right after the election, but especially since after January 20th when we took office, we have now the strongest enlistment we've ever had in the history of our country. We've never enlisted people so quickly, so easily.
No, I've not seen that. Jocko Flacco out there in D-Live chat. Hello again, by the way, after so many years. Good to see you again. Jocko says, anyone catch that Papadopoulos statement regarding a 10-year investigation? No, and that sounds really interesting. Let's find out. Yes, that's everybody who's kung fu fighting. I don't know why that popped into my head. No idea. Just did. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see it here. Let's try going to I always forget how to spell his stupid ass name. Papo. Yeah. There we are. Oh, you got a link for me? Thank you, Billy. Hold up. Grand jury impaneled today in Florida. Papadopoulos just dropped a hammer on War Room, the FBI, DOJ, DNI, and CIA investigating a 10-year deep state conspiracy. Oh, you bet they are. RICO charges coming, treating the Democrat Party as a criminal organization. I wouldn't go quite that far, but significant parts of it. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But you know, Obama, Brennan, Comey, and the whole swamp elite have been out on notice. This is what we voted for. Let's hear it.
The FBI, the DOJ, the DNI, and the CIA are all looking at a 10-year-long government conspiracy case in which they're likely going to look at RICO charges, look at the Democrat Party and the left as some sort of criminal organization writ large, and people like Brennan, Obama, Comey, and the upper echelons of the Democrat Party are all now in the crosshairs of this grand jury that will be impaneled just today.
Yes, they are.
The FBI, the DOJ, the DNI, and the CIA are all looking at a 10-year-long government conspiracy case in which they're likely going to look at RICO charges, look at the...
Yep. I wish there was more on that. Let me see if we can find a longer clip. Everyone just reposting that same 30-second segment.
I want you to lay it out. The article that Jim Hoff wrote about.
Okay, here we go. Here's the full segment with him.
Since the inception of the America First movement, President's first term, as you well know, he was subverted from within. This time around, he has patriotic Americans in key positions that are willing and ready to go all the way.
Yes, this is true. And I can tell you that firsthand.
So what this grand jury is all about is separate than the grand juries that have recently indicted people like Comey. It was dismissed, but they're probably going to relitigate that situation. And what Brennan is trying to do here is he's trying to deflect and evade the grand jury that will likely indict him down in Florida. And he's trying to make some sort of argument that the judge is biased. It's in a jurisdiction that Judge Cannon was involved with, that this new judge there is going to be some sort of Trump ally. It's not going to work. And what FBI Director Kash Patel has laid out very eloquently, as has DNI Gabbard, is that the FBI, the DOJ, the DNI, and the CIA are all looking at a 10-year-long government conspiracy case in which they're likely going to look at RICO charges, look at the Democrat Party and the left as some sort of criminal organization writ large, and people like Brennan, Obama, Comey, and the upper echelons of the Democrat Party are all now in the crosshairs of this grand jury that will be impaneled just today.
So walk me through it. You're as close to this because you're one of the first guys they tried to break. Walk the audience through it. What are we talking? Let's go back to the beginning. When you talk about the deep state and you talk about a conspiracy, essentially a coup, right? And Michael Schur, Dr. Michael Schur, who is the lead CIA investigator and analyst in the bin Laden situation, put up, I think, on Twitter, and the president of the United States reposted it, that there was a CIA coup on November 3rd of 2020. So this thing started back when they tried to roll you up in 2016. They tried to stop Trump from gaining the presidency. And then once he won coming from behind in 16 and shocked him, they then tried to destroy his administration. And this is one of my reasons saying he's not really running for a third term. He didn't really have a first term because they thwarted him. Then going to 2020, and their understanding they couldn't stop him, they essentially stole the election. So walk through what you think this grand jury is going to be looking at.
This was all about stopping an incipient populist, economic, nationalistic movement from ever becoming what it ended up becoming under the tutelage and leadership of President Trump and people like yourself who helped grow this into the massive movement that is now reverberating throughout the entire world. That's exactly why in 2016, where you had a completely different political environment, both domestically and internationally, including in the European Union, in Australia, in other countries, what I believe happened and what I believe will be proven is that there was an international effort, a weaponized effort by the CIA with the FBI and the Obama administration, utilizing some of these other foreign governments that had vested interests in an Obama third term, which would have been Hillary Clinton, that were then utilized to spy on the Trump campaign. And if Trump ended up winning, to then use people like Mueller and others to handcuff him and to destroy his administration from ever really taking off. This was all about basically destroying a movement before it could become what it did. Unfortunately for them, he won the last 3 elections. He survived 2 assassination attempts. He's on the war path right now, and the people in the positions of power are ready to take this all the way. And that's something that's diametrically different from his first term, where he didn't know DC, and the people in there were more likely to spy on him and to subvert him than to help him. And that's really why you have countries panicking all around the world, including the UK, some in Australia, about what this is really ultimately going to lead in terms of the United States relationship with some of these other countries, the oversight.
See, this is very good. This is a really good little segment they're doing. This is what the black pilly types just kind of don't, excuse me, don't understand about why it's taken this long. DC's not clearly it's not conducive to doing something like this. It's built from the ground up to prevent exactly this from happening, you know. Excuse me, freaking tea, man. But the
capabilities of Congress related to the CIA and the FBI. This is the most important investigation in modern American history, and it will have both domestic and global ramifications, Steve.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, the entire first term had to go the way it did because a presidential administration is like a president is never just the president. It's the president and so many freaking people beneath him that have to actually carry out his will, and make sure it's done the way he wants it done. Because he's one guy. He cannot be everywhere. His eyes can't be everywhere. Can't see everything. Can't hear everything. He's absolutely has to rely on a team of literally like thousands of people. And it is impossible going in to for someone like him, an outsider, which he needed to be, right, to go in with a team that knew what they were doing, and B, a team of people that he could trust. Right? He could go in as he did with people who knew what they were doing, but problem is you have no idea where their loyalties lie, and that's what was so important about the first admin, was trying to figure out what the heck, like where everyone's loyalties were, like where, on what side of things they fell, what they would do in certain situations. Could have, I guess, gone in there with completely fresh people that know nothing about DC and the legal system and the way it all has to work. I suppose he could have done that, but you would have ended up at the same place, I promise you, if not even worse, because how the heck DC's a freaking maze, man. You're not gonna have any effing clue how to untie this mess if you don't already know the mess, you know. He could have gone in there with people he'd worked all his life with in construction or whatever, people he trusted, but didn't know what they were doing, and again would have ended up in the same place. I think, in hindsight, the way he did it is the right way. DC had to be made sense of by him and his people. They had to figure out where people were at, certain people, and they had to attract the right people, all the talent to them, and get all of those people working towards the same goal, all at the same time. It's a tall order.
George, I'm going to hold you. Are you talking about the Five Eyes program? Those are the nations that we're talking about, the Five Eyes?
That's absolutely what I'm talking about, and that's why this is the most sensitive and scandalous situation that we have ever seen in modern American history. And when DNI Gabbard and President Trump calls this a treasonous conspiracy led by a former president, meaning President Obama, you don't use those type of words lightly. Those are not my words. Those are coming directly from the administration. And treason implicates foreign governments attacking your government. And that's exactly what happened here, Steve.
Yep.
So, George, just explain, is this going to just cover the run-up to the 2016 election and what they tried to do to steal it? Or is this going to...
Everything since then, too. Don't you worry.
Also include, you believe, the first term, where having not stopped us and allowing Clinton to get in and be Obama's third term. But if Clinton had gotten in, and remember, Merrick Garland had already been nominated for the Supreme Court, and she wanted to put somebody even more radical than Merrick Garland. The reason they didn't fight so hard for Merrick Garland is he was too moderate. They would have controlled the Supreme Court, they would control the Senate, the House, and they would controlled the executive branch. Game over, United States of America. So are we just going to do the run up to 16 where you got rolled up, or we're actually going to do the first term of the administration, sir?
Steve, there was always this big question about statute of limitations and how that might preclude the DOJ for pursuing these various charges, because some people thought that the so-called time clock expired. But what the DOJ's done here is, by looking at the Democrat Party as a whole, as a criminal organization, in parallel to how the mafia was viewed during the time of Mayor Giuliani in New York, it allowed them to extend the time clock by looking at the Democrat Party as some sort of criminal entity that has been basically waging lawfare and engaging in criminal activities for at least 10 years, going back to 2015 up through Joe Biden. So this is not simply about Donald Trump's first term and things that happened to myself and others. This goes into the 2020 election, impeachment 1.0, 2.0, all of the shenanigans during the lawfare effort against candidate Trump this past election and how he valiantly fought back against all of that. This is why this is the most important and significant investigation in modern American history, and it's being conducted with the right people at the right time.
Yep.
George, where do people, your Twitter feed, you're putting up stuff all the time because you're following this very closely, and we want to make sure that we have you on every couple of days for an update. And I know you've got great stuff going up in Gateway Pundit, but where can people follow you? You're absolutely correct. This is the single, Watergate looks like the third-rate burglary it was. And as we keep saying, their trial run on lawfare was with Sirica and these guys to take Nixon out. And now they've really perfected it. The deep state perfected it. That's what's going to be on trial here. This grand jury and what's going on is the most important investigation in the history of the country. So how do people stay on top of this following you, sir?
I really appreciate that, Steve. You can follow me on X at GeorgePapa19.
George, you're a patriot and a hero. Thank you for joining us on War Room this morning. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. All right. Back we go here. No clue where we left off. We got to find our spot again. Somewhere in this. Which, since we're down to like 25 minutes, I might skip. Let's skip some. Yeah. All right. Gas stations in the Detroit area where you can fill up for less than $2.30 a gallon, whereas 2 years ago it was $4.50 a gallon. Oh, that's true. That's yikes. It's hovering around like $3 a gallon here ish. I think we read that out. Ah, okay. Trump on his plan for housing affordability. Let's hear it.
As part of those efforts at Davos next week, I'm going to provide much more detail about our housing policies so that every American who wants to own a home will be able to afford one. We have some great things happening with housing, as you know. You saw the $200 billion buy-in on
yours truly desperately would love the door to buy a home. Would love to do it. Been waiting all my freaking life for this moment.
Bonds and mortgages. This will include a ban on large institutional investors buying up single-family homes all over the country and making it impossible for people to buy a home.
Yes.
And I've also announced that the U.S. government is purchasing $200 billion of mortgage bonds to bring down mortgage rates, and it's had a huge impact. It's already started. And just last week, the average 30-year mortgage dropped below 6% for the first time in many years. As part of those efforts...
Called for credit card companies to cap interest rates at 10% for 1 year because they're getting 28, 30%. It's unfair. Rates are way too high. Now Obamacare comments.
To provide further relief to hardworking Americans, will also be confronting one of the biggest factors in driving up prices, the monstrosity known as the Unaffordable Care Act. You know what that is, right? It's Obamacare. It's a great name, Unaffordable Care Act. Nope. Did anybody ever think of that one before? It's true. It's the Unaffordable Care Act. Obamacare was a gift to make health insurance companies rich at the expense of the American people. In particular, the so-called enhanced premium tax credits were a corrupt payoff to the insurers, whose stock prices went up more than 1,000% after Obamacare was signed. I want the same money I want it to go directly, very simple. I want the money, those big amounts of money paid for by the government to go directly to the people so they can buy the health care that's right for them. They can negotiate their own deal, health care savings account, but they'll buy their own health care, and everybody loves it. That's why later this week, I'll announce our health care affordability framework that will reduce premiums for millions of lower drug prices, delivering price transparency and demand honesty and accountability from insurance companies all over the country, all over the world, actually. Healthcare costs will come down very fast with
Over the past 12 months, almost every promise I made to you right here in 2024 has been kept. Gave you the largest tax cuts in American history, and we also made interest on car loans fully tax deductible, but only for cars that are stamped with the beautiful words "Made in the USA." Starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities. Commenting on the new DOJ division tasked with investigating fraud. Yes.
Last week, we announced that I'm creating a brand new division at the Department of Justice, a legal strike force led by
huge deal.
A really tough, smart new Attorney General for fraud. He is a fantastic young guy. He's so impassioned to do this properly. We intend to imprison any fraudster, politician, or public official involved in these sick plots to loot and pillage our country.
Ooh, shit. We're going to revoke the citizenship of any naturalized immigrant from Somalia or anywhere else who is convicted of defrauding our citizens.
We're also going to revoke the citizenship of any naturalized immigrant from Somalia or anywhere else who is convicted of defrauding our citizens. We're going to get them the hell out of here fast. And if you come to America to rob Americans, we're throwing you in jail and we're sending you back to the place from where you came. We're throwing you right in jail. We're also
Our country wasn't built by people who tried to lie and cheat and scam their way to success. It was built by legends like Henry Ford, Henry Dow, Thomas Edison. Men who lifted up American workers and strengthened our nation. Mm-hmm. Oh, he pulled the Trump dance out. Nice. Harmy Dillon says she went after Antifa rioters who beat journalists on camera at protests. Okay, let's hear it, girl.
The first case that we took on was the case of Andy Ngo, the journalist in Portland, Oregon, and he was exposing the Antifa violence happening in that city. Andy was attacked on 2 different instances by gangs of these Antifa thugs for doing journalism. They recognized him, they violently attacked him. And when I saw him assaulted, I reached out to him, so we're gonna go after them and sue them for attacking you. But we wanted to send the message that it wasn't going to be free to just attack journalists in the United States. Poor Andy was, beaten twice and suffered
badly,
significantly from that. Each of them showed up in court after I sued them with their own lawyers paid for by Soros-funded, Tides Foundation-funded nonprofits. And so there's a whole edifice of nonprofits on the left that pays for these violent thugs to do what they do with impunity. The first case that we
Yep. Okay, Tim Burchett this morning. The Supreme Court is ruling on the Trump tariffs. If we lose, we could have to pay it all back. Yeah.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett.
They still haven't ruled though, have they? Still not yet. One thing I learned covering Whitmer Fednapping, informants are paid in cash. Yep, that is true. Yes. They get paid in a nice, fat, plain, unmarked envelope, stuffed full of untraceable untraceable bills, no, I think they even go so far as like making sure they're like non-sequential. Like they make sure. Yeah. Jack Smith's office approved a $20,000 payment to a confidential human source in the FBI's Arctic Frost probe. What? $20K, huh? In exchange for what? What did they get in return, I wonder? And who was it? Who was it? And who were they reporting on? Who were they watching? Interesting. Yeah. Payment in the amount of $20,000 for information provided in support of caption investigation. Interesting. I don't know that we'll ever find that one out, but I would love to know. Try them taking selfies with Ford plant workers. Looking like a boss. His nice long overcoat on. A red tie. Shoes shined. That's got to be my favorite outfit of his. Easy. Just it suits him so well. Supreme Court's conservatives signal they are prepared to side with states that ban transgender athletes from playing on girls' sports teams, as you would hope and expect. Homeland Security posting today, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." From the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 9. Let's see the clip here.
Help me to decide. Help me make the most of.
I don't know what song that is. I'm assuming it's probably copyrighted material, so I'm gonna just back that off. But yeah. All right. Protesters with MEK, no idea, an Iranian Islamo-Marxist terrorist organization, are currently protesting in front of the House congressional offices in D.C., waving a MEK flag and MEK banners, chanting "No Shah, no Mullahs." So they're against both the mullah and the Shah, huh?
No Shah, no to Mullah, freedom in Iran.
No Shah, no mullah. Okay. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance set to lead the Iran strategy meeting this afternoon. Source familiar with the matter says, okay. Okay, Greenland. Oh. In a jaw-dropping declaration, Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen announced that if we have to choose between the United States and Denmark here and now, we choose Denmark.
Nu står vi med en geopolitisk krise.
Well, I can't understand you. Go back to your country while it's still yours. Anyway, DHS agents just dropped some smoke bombs out of their moving car window.
Damn!
Witnesses spoke of seeing snipers positioned on rooftops in downtown Tehran, firing into crowds. Peaceful protests turning abruptly into scenes of carnage and panic. Jeez. Leftist in Michigan yelled at President Trump, pedophile protector, so Trump gave him the finger. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, he did. He did do it. There it is. Oh, straight up, man. Yep. That's the middle finger, man. He did it. Fuck you. That's great. Trump apparently said "fuck you" and flipped off a protester. What a moment. Jeez, that's fantastic. Federal agents just charged at leftist insurrectionists after they threw heavy objects at federal vehicles. Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. What did they say? Here we come to enforce the law? What else? I heard them saying something else there. I don't know. We got 10 minutes. Let's keep it moving. Tom Homan confirms to Will Kane that ICE agent Jonathan Ross is, as you might imagine, in hiding. This is the guy that sadly was put in the position where he had to shoot at that wacko in Minnesota. There are wanted posters with his picture and his license plate number, endless death threats, public and private.
When do I start seeing ICE agents, Border Patrol agents sue for defamation? Mostly I have been curious about, and really honestly, in some ways imploring the Border Patrol agents who were accused of whipping Haitian migrants by former President Joe Biden and former Vice President Kamala Harris, among many others, to sue them for defamation. It fits the classical legal definition of defamation. And now, to your point, you have all of these, not just politicians, but now celebrities and sports figures like head coaches in the NBA, Doc Rivers and Steve Kerr, calling this.
Oh yeah, you get the behavior you tolerate. You tolerate that shit, and the president of the freaking United States, you will see every damn one of his underlings and people that voted for him do the same damn shit, and they won't stop until you do something about it.
Minnesota, a murderer. And I do wonder what is holding back these agents for demanding accountability in the form of a lawsuit for defamation.
I think things are so bad now, where are you going to see that start happening? I've talked to a few people, and I think you're going to see it happening. And for this agent that was involved in the shooting, I think he's going to, wait for this investigation to pan itself out and wait for them to come out with actual facts, what happened. Then I think you may see him take action, because I know for a fact, now he has to be in hiding. I seen a post this morning on the way to the studio here with his picture, wanted for murder. It's beyond the pale. So I think you're going to see more of that happening now, because they're way over the line. We always get, immigration enforcement's always been controversial. It's always been tug at the heartstrings. I get it. But you know what? They're way over the line now. So I think you're going to see a lot more lawsuits coming here in the near future.
So this agent right now, Tom, is in hiding?
Yes. For the safety of him and his family. I mean, there are wanted posters with his picture, his license plate number, and the death threats against him and his family.
Nuts. Woman in Minneapolis refuses to comply with federal law enforcement and instead starts driving down a street where an ICE raid is actively playing out. And riots were also going on. So she was removed from her car and detained. I think we already played this one. I think, or the aftermath of it. Yeah, that's the one. We did play that. Watch Bill Clinton's empty chair at the deposition that was scheduled for him today after he just declined to show up.
We will go on the record. Good morning. This is a deposition of former President William J.
Yep, they still go through the motions, yeah.
Clinton, conducted by the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform.
For the record.
On July 23rd, 2025, the Subcommittee on Federal Law Enforcement unanimously voted to approve a motion directing the committee to authorize and issue a subpoena to former President Clinton for a deposition. I'm going to note for the record that former President Clinton is not present. The time is 10:07. We're going to mark items for the record. We will mark as Exhibit 1, a cover letter from Chairman Comer dated August 5th, 2025, enclosing the deposition subpoena and email confirmation from former President Clinton's attorney, David Kendall, accepting the letter and the subpoena. We will mark as Exhibit 8, a letter dated December 5th.
Eric Adams tells a constituent or former constituent, I guess, in New York City, I'm not mayor anymore. Go fuck yourself.
Eric Adams, please punch me in the face. I would love if you punch me in the face. Okay, you can get fucked too.
All right?
Yeah, fuck you.
Psycho.
Those days are over.
Yeah, good. Thank God. Damn. And I can see your ugly ass face everywhere. Damn.
That's nice.
That is just not nice, ma'am. Wow. Trump switched to return to the Oval Office instead of the residence last minute, sending Poole scrambling to the other side, but he didn't take questions. He's inside the Oval now. Weird. Okay, I don't know. I think they're trying to imply that he's hiding from them. Who knows? Would you blame him? President Trump says Minnesota is red, if not for the areas represented by disgusting Ilhan Omar, Minneapolis and St. Paul. Minnesota's Trump country. I won 78 out of 87 counties. The election was swung by corrupt counties around Minneapolis and St. Paul, represented by disgusting Ilhan Omar. Moronic Tim Walz has allowed Minnesota to become overrun by Somali fraudsters who steal from American taxpayers to take advantage of our generosity. Tim is completely incompetent, which is why he lost big time last year. And bowing out of re-election is the only good decision he has ever made. I've instructed Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent to follow the money and put an end to this abuse once and for all, first in Minnesota and then all around the country. Okay. Searched marriage records in several states, and there's no evidence that Renee Good and Becca Good were ever actually married. Renee Good petitioned for a name change in 2023 so that she could share the same last name as her partner. Ridiculous. All right. Ilhan Omar caught on camera, asked about the fraud scandal.
Congresswoman, Republicans have repeatedly stated that you committed immigration fraud. Are you at all worried about a formal investigation that could perhaps lead to your deportation?
Are you one of those people?
I don't know what that means, but are you at all concerned?
Do I look concerned?
Yes.
I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do. You kind of do, actually. Now that you mention it.
About the Minnesota fraud hearing, you didn't show up for that. Do you think you should have?
Why should I have?
Well, it happened in your state. Don't you want to defend your position?
There were people from my state that were there.
Okay, but why not you? I mean, there's allegations that you're complicit in the fraud. Wouldn't you want to show up?
Why would there be an allegation that I'm complicit? How would I be complicit?
Well, what about Tim Walz?
Do you just ask stupid questions? Is this your thing?
I'm curious to get your thoughts. I mean, there's a lot of controversy around the issue. $9 billion in fraud in the state of Minnesota.
$9 billion?
You don't think so?
Really?
Yeah, and counting. Probably more, honestly. You think that's fake news or what?
That is more than half of the resources that are allocated.
Okay.
So you genuinely, your brain has told you that it is possible for half of the resources.
I'm just going off of what
for our public service to half disappear is what you're saying.
Countless Minnesota state representatives, whistleblowers have come
listen
forward.
To yourself, though.
I'm
just
trying.
Think about that for a second.
Maybe if you showed up at the hearing, you would know that whistleblowers are being retaliated against for exposing the fraud. Why is that? Why are they being tracked and traced?
Think about what you're asking. Who is tracing whistleblowers?
Minnesota state officials, Tim Walz, anyone who dares to speak out against the government.
Tim Walz is doing something to whistleblowers?
Yeah, why is Tim Walz stepping down if he's, innocent? Why isn't he running for re-election?
Because he's had 8 years to serve as our great governor.
He was going to be vice president of the United States if Kamala won.
Yes, and he would have been an excellent vice president.
But now he's stepping
much
down.
Better than the person we have right now.
And now he's stepping down as governor. Any comment on that? You don't think he's maybe complicit?
He is focusing on trying to make sure our state remains great. All right, have a nice day.
Thank you, you too.
Please read.
Scumbag.
And so today, I am glad to announce that the Congressional Progressive Caucus has adopted an official position to hold ICE accountable. Our caucus members will oppose all funding for immigration enforcement in any appropriation bills until meaningful reforms are enacted to end militarized policing practices. And so today, I am glad to announce that the Congressional Progressive Caucus has adopted an official position to hold ICE accountable. Our caucus members...
Okay. Last up here, Ruby Corrado, founder of LGBTQ plus nonprofit Casa Ruby. Yeah, she did fraud too. Quote unquote, she. Sentenced to over 2 years in prison and ordered to pay damn near $1 million in stolen COVID relief funds. Received more than $1.3 million from PPP. Wow. All right. Let me see. I think we're at the top of the hour here. Yes. Yep. And Roxy's in. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
God, I don't even know what to say. It's so out of control. I don't know. I haven't really been paying too much attention to what's going on today just because it's really annoying.
I do that sometimes. Yep.
I got a little update with your quick review, so that was very helpful. And we're just gonna make our way for the next 2 hours and do the best we can, right?
Mosey about, see where you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just gonna hang out. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Pam. You're awesome.
Back at you. Yeah. Have a good show.
All right. Here we go. All right. I just want to remind you guys. I know we're all fired